signs he wants a relationship early on. I'm going to cover signs he doesn't want a relationship. It's super critical, more important to know what signs he doesn't want a relationship. And then of course the signs he really does want a relationship. And if you watch until the end of this video, I will also cover what it means and what to do if it's showing both signs. And if you are interested and serious about dating and finally attracting and keeping high quality men, then you may want to consider working with me one-on-one. If that is something you're interested in, then you just want to go to the link in the description and book a call with me there. All right, so now let's get into today's video, signs he wants a relationship early on so you don't waste your time. First thing I want to cover is signs that he doesn't want a relationship. Okay, I think these signs are more important than signs he does want a relationship, because these are the ones that I see tend to lead women astray the most. Okay, so these are more important to pay attention to. So the first sign is he never asks any personal questions about you, your family, your past, any personal questions. Second sign is he tells you early on something along the lines of he's not sure he's ready for a relationship. Whenever a man tells you where he's at with relationships, you need to read the entire sentence, right? So a man will probably say something along the lines of, I'm not completely sure I'm ready for a relationship, but I'm open to trying. I'm open to it. Okay, you got to read the whole sentence, because if you just looked at the last part of the sentence, you'd be thinking, oh, he is probably ready then. Maybe he is, because he's saying he's open to a relationship. But this is why I'm telling you, you got to pay attention to the first portion. The fact that he said he's probably not ready, or he's not sure if he's ready. Okay, another way a man could put it is, I want a relationship, but I just got out of a relationship, but I'm still grieving the loss of my ex, but work has been super busy and stressful and I don't have any time, right? But I'm homeless, right? It's what comes after the but. If you just took the first part of the sentence, him saying, I want a relationship, then you'll be like, oh, he does want a relationship. But you got to read the whole sentence. Okay, read the whole sentence. He's saying there's some doubt, there's some reservations, there's some circumstance that he perceives could get in the way. Okay, and you got to pay attention to that. If there's any kind of doubt, any kind of uncertainty, any hesitation, you've got to wonder why. If someone is really ready, they know they're ready. They would not say any but in that sentence, right? I know I'm ready for a relationship. I would carry myself as if I'm ready. I wouldn't be like, I want a relationship, but this. Like it doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's important. I will also say, like, most men will never ever say, I don't want a relationship. They will never actually say those words. Okay, out of those words will probably never come out of any man's mouth, doesn't matter what age, because most people don't want to cut off their options. Just in case they happen to meet someone and develop feelings, they don't want to like backtrack then. It just feels awkward. So they always will err on the side of being open. Even if they're unsure, they would still rather say, I'm open to it, when really what they're truthfully saying is they're not ready. They're probably very unlikely going to get into a relationship. Next sign, again, he tells you early, very early in knowing him, meeting him, anything negative about women and relationships. Okay, you gotta think about this. What he is really saying, what he is really communicating here is his state of mind, right? And the time frame of when he tells a woman this is important. So if he's telling a woman really early something negative about women, his belief system about women and relationships, that means he's not ready. He's subconsciously telling you he's not ready for a relationship because all his thoughts, his thinking are all negative. So of course he wouldn't be ready for a relationship. He's saying he's not ready without saying it. Okay? Like his actions are saying it. Right? And I think a lot of women miss this because they go into, oh, but that's about his ex, or that's about his previous experience, right? And it's like, but I'm different, right? I'm the exception, right? Women tend to put themselves in a different category because we think, well, we're not like the ex, right? I'm not like her. I'm not like that other woman, that relationship. He's never been in a relationship with me. But when you do that, you miss the sign. You miss the sign that what he's actually telling you is he's not ready. And it's highly unlikely, again, he will get into a relationship with you because he's mentally not ready. Last sign he's not ready is, again, early on in knowing him, he tells you something negative about himself and his ability to be in a relationship. We start to like really buy into a man's sob story about his past and how he's like not good enough here and insecure about that. And he, maybe he's saying like, look, I've noticed I'm not very good in relationships. I haven't been really good to women in the past. And women take that as a sign of, oh, look how aware he is now. Like he's clearly like grown and he's changed. And what's important here is the fact that he's telling you his negatives early on. That's the sign, right? Most people want to put their best foot forward. They don't want to put their worst foot forward. It's like going to a job interview and, telling the hiring person how bad of an employee you are and you have been in the past. Like, why would you, like, it makes no sense. Like, you're sabotaging yourself on purpose. No, subconsciously, he's telling you he's not good in a relationship. He's not ready for a relationship. And therefore, most likely, he's not going to get into a relationship with you or anyone. Okay, his mindset is that. He will not say it, but that's what his actions are saying. Now let's talk about signs he does want a relationship with you. First of all, he shouldn't be showing you any signs that he doesn't want a relationship with you that I just covered, right? If he's showing you any of those, no go, right? And I'll talk about what it means, what to do if there's signs both ways, right? I'll cover that at the end. All right, now, signs he wants a relationship with you. He asks you personal, interesting, and well thought out questions, right? He actually puts some thought into the questions that he asks you, and they're often personal, about your past, your childhood, your family, your interests, your dreams. His answers to you are careful and well thought out. So when you ask him a personal question, he actually takes the time to really answer it well and not just some whatever answer, right? If he's giving you vague answers, or he doesn't really answer the question, or he just gives you like a joke back, that's a bad sign. That probably means he doesn't want a relationship with you. That kind of goes into the first point where he doesn't ask you any personal questions, and he doesn't answer any personal questions from you in any decent way. He is careful to address every question, concern that you may have brought up in your text message or in your conversations. Men that are really interested in you, they pay attention to everything you say, and they pay attention to every or any indication that you may not be happy, or you may have some doubts, or you may have some uncertainties. They really like pay attention to all of that because they want to make sure that you're happy because they're interested in you, and they also want to make sure if you're not interested in them, that they're picking up the signs, right? So that's why they're paying attention to everything. So they're not missing stuff. Okay, so if you find your guy like, oh, really going, oh, what did you mean by that? Or are you feeling a bit unwell? Or like just being very like overly concerned with how you feel, that's a good thing. He puts a lot of thought into planning your dates. Like, he actually really thinks about it. He thinks about what you would like, what you would enjoy. He asks you ahead of time whether you would like this or that. He may not go into details, but he may be like, oh, are you an outdoors person or are you an indoors person? Because he's trying to figure out what would be a really great date that the two of you could have. So he's putting a lot of thought into it. He always makes himself available to you. And if he happens to not be available, he communicates that. He's very clear about that. He'll tell you, right, okay, between this and this time, I didn't answer as quickly as I normally would because, you know, I was busy working. I had to help a friend with a car. Like, he's very transparent about where he was, where he's been, because he doesn't want to leave the woman he's interested in being with guessing on the fence, not knowing what's going on, confused. Like, if a man is into you, he wants to make sure you know everything that's going on. He doesn't want you to have any doubts, any questions, okay? He will make a point to tell you he's off the dating apps early on, right? And men know early whether he's into you or not. It's not going to take him weeks and weeks and months to figure that out. So early, he will know he's into you. And very early on, he will probably know he wants a relationship with you. And at that point, he will upfront tell you, look, I got off the dating apps. I'm no longer on there. Maybe even the first week or two, he'll be telling you this, because men know what they like. Men, when they see something they like, they know they want a relationship, they're upfront about it. By the way, if any of these signs resonate with you, leave me a comment below and tell me what your guy is doing, what signs he's showing you, and what you think it is. And I can certainly give you my feedback on whether he wants a relationship or he doesn't. He will make a point to talk about being exclusive. Okay, having the exclusivity conversation, the commitment conversation, where you're transitioning from dating to a committed relationship. He will have the conversation. He will clear it up. He will want to have that conversation. He will not just allow you to assume commitment or assume exclusivity and have it be all very, like, you know, not said, not talked about. He spends his Friday, Saturday, Sunday, his time off, that prime time, with you, right? Most men, if they're single and they're looking, that's the time they're going to reserve for dates, right? And if he's serious about you, he wants a relationship with you, he's going to spend all of that time with you, and he will start to schedule that way ahead of time, right? He's not going to leave it to last minute. Friday night comes along, last minute he invites you out. He will not leave it last minute. He will plan ahead of time because he already knows he wants to be with you. He already is pretty clear about that. So he wants to make sure all of his weekends are with you. He naturally starts to shift his schedule around for you. So normally he goes to gym in the morning, and it's like every day consistently. Suddenly you notice he's not going to gym anymore. He's spending it with you. Right? He's starting to shift things around, and you start to notice, oh, I thought, you know, around this time you usually go play soccer or go play basketball with your friends, or you go out drinking, but he's not, he's with you. And it almost like it just happens naturally. Like you just notice one time that, oh, he's not doing that thing he usually does. That's how you know that he's serious about you. He wants to be with you. He wants a relationship with you. He always follows through. His words and his actions are aligned. He is consistent. He is dependable. He, in fact, goes out of his way to be dependable. The last sign is always crystal clear communication of his interest in you, his intentions, right? All his actions, his words, everything is consistent, and there's no like mixed feelings, mixed signals that confuses you. Everything is just very clear, and you feel very safe. You feel like you can trust him. You feel like he's definitely into you. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, what if my guy is showing me signs both ways? This can happen. I have seen this happen. So maybe in the beginning, he showed that he did want a relationship and was doing all the right things, and then all of a sudden he changed and now he doesn't want a relationship. In science, he doesn't want a relationship. Or the other way around. It can happen the other way around too. What's happened there is he has just changed his mind. And it does happen sometimes. I would say not a lot of time this happens, but it does happen sometimes that people change their mind. Because in the beginning, and by the way, I want to say mostly only in the beginning this will happen. Because in the beginning, we're still trying to figure out who the other person is, and we're trying to figure out what we want, what we really want. So sometimes we need that other person to help us figure that out. So, but I do want to emphasize that this changing of mind mostly only happens one time early on in the first month or so. Okay, so I only say that because some of you women will be like, well, he changed his mind once, maybe he'll change back. Depending on how much you like the guy, that pretty much almost never ever happens, right? Like, I would not bet on that happening. If you're confused because you have both signs going on and you're not totally sure whether he wants a relationship or doesn't want a relationship, a really simple way to clear that up is you want to look at the last 30 days only of his behavior, and you want to look at overall, in general, what are the signs he's showing you. Okay, any uncertainties there, if it's not an absolute hell yes, it's probably a no, right? Any uncertainty, any doubt, it's unlikely he will get into a relationship with you. Okay, that is the video for today. If you like this video, please like me. If you have any comments, if you have seen any signs from your man and you're not sure what it is, please leave that in the comments below and I can certainly help you out there. And if you like and enjoy more videos like this, then please subscribe to my channel and you will get more videos like this every week. Okay, that's all from me, ladies, and I'll talk to you real soon.